Hey y'all! We are going to do a little box of horrors live tonight. I have offerings from LynB Designs, Victorian Varnish, and Ribbits tickets to show off to all of y'all that were all sent to me by these brands to show you. Get that out of the way for YouTube purposes. I'm excited to get into these, so we're going to do that. First things first, let's send this to our broadcasting channel so everyone in there knows that we are live. There we go. Awesome sauce. And then we're going to get into this. I hope everyone's having a great day. It's Wednesday. You've made it halfway through the week if you have a typical Monday through Friday. Yeah, I'm excited to get into this. Hello, Laura. We had a it's been a decent day. We hit almost 70 degrees today. I got to do my walk outside this morning. I did some swatches and I got good sun shots of things, which was really nice. And then we just kind of chilled and worked in the basement. Hi, Laura. So, yeah, it's been a good Wednesday here. Hopefully it's been good for all of y'all too. Yeah. All right. So like I said, we've got LynB Designs, Victorian Varnish, and Ribbits for Little Box of Horrors January. Sale dates are January 2nd through the 30th. It is a pre-order box. Wishlisting, I believe, starts on the 19th now. I believe that's the day they've changed it to. And there's not really a time that it starts for wishlisting. The pre-order sale itself, I think, starts at 2 p.m. Central. I think is it 1 Mountain? It's really weird. There's this like the strangest time for me to remember, but I feel like it's 2 o'clock my time. I think it's 2 o'clock Central. So we're gonna get into this. I do know, hello Carrie. I know that we have, hello Maria. We have a LynB's, I believe, is a thermal, so I'm very excited. Hi Zach. And Victorian Varnish has a magnetic, I believe. And then Ribbits has 4 polishes. I don't have info for those. I don't even have pricings. I do have names because they're labeled. And then we'll just figure out as we go if something's a thermal or a magnetic or whatever. So y'all know the drill. You know how it is. We're going to open stuff and see what's what. So very excited. I do have the info stuff from Victorian Varnish and LynB there. And we're just gonna open some bubblers and see what we get. The theme, I believe, I should have looked this up beforehand. Oh, you know what? Vivi likes to tell us the theme. Yes, I thought so. It's Resident Evil. So, and I appreciate that she always puts that on her stuff so I don't have to remember what it is. But, yes, so the theme for Little Box of Horrors January is Resident Evil. And first we have from Victorian Varnish is Sanguis Virginis. Y'all, you know I can't pronounce anything. I do know Resident Evil is a very popular game and a movie series. I have seen a bit of the movies, and I played some of the games a long time ago. Like, I think the last game I played was on the Wii. So if that says anything to you, so if anybody has any clue on how to say this, I know it's backwards. It'll be frontwards whenever we flip the camera too. Sanguis Virginias, I don't know, y'all. Everybody knows how to say it and you want to help me pronounce it with a phonetic spelling, I would appreciate you. But if not, we're going to say it how we say it because that's what we do here. This is really pretty. It is a deep base. I'm gonna guess it's either red or a black base, and then it has tons of red glitter. It's very sparkly, very like blood-esque here. It fits the vibes of Little Box of Horrors for sure. Super sparkly. I don't think we're hollow. I think we're just red metallic glitters. Yeah, but we are very sparkly. Look at all that sparkly goodness in there. Beautiful. Let's see what we have next. Next is another VV. I can always tell by her bubblers because she leaves this little like taggy on it, which I appreciate because y'all know I reuse these for work. And then they don't stick to each other when that's on there. This is Cadou Claws. I think I'm saying that one right. I'm not really sure. I believe this is a magnetic. So we have this like pinky, greeny, sepia tone base. It's very shifty. And then I see some like little teeny tiny red glitters and maybe some gold micro glitters. I'm not positive on that aspect, but it is a magnetic. So let's see what happens when we put our magnet to it. Hopefully the balls don't give us trouble today. Ooh, yes, look at that. All right, so we are like a red muted tone base. It's so hard to tell, y'all. And then it's got that green kind of copper-esque glow. Ooh, look at that secondary color there. So it's like blue and purple there to green, and then all those little red glitters show up more. This is really interesting. I'm very excited to see this on a swatch stick. I don't think I've seen anything with this kind of makeup to it. Y'all, this is very cool. Let's put that flash on it just to see. Hello, Crystal. How are you feeling tonight? Ooh, look at the sparkle of that. This is really cool. I'm very, very excited to see this out of the bottle because it's so unique. Next we have LynB, and I'm going to use my cuticle pusher to open the box. We'll see if Maple comes in for it. She may or may not. So this is When You're Good to Mama. Again, from LynB Designs. It is a thermal. It is a very dark, I'm going to go with purple base. We have some flakies that shift pink, orange, and red, I think. And then it definitely has some little scattered hollow in here. It also, I cannot tell, I don't know if you guys can see that. I can't tell if the bottom is just like some settling of the flakies or if this is also potentially a glow in the dark. It doesn't say it, and she's usually really good about labeling her stuff. So it's probably just settling. Y'all, LynB sends me stuff so far in advance, which I appreciate, so I can be organized and on time with my stuff. So this has probably been sitting on my shelf for like 2 months maybe. So settling makes sense. But this is a thermal, so I'm intrigued to what it's going to switch to. Crystal says, I'm good. Thanks for asking. Just more tenderness. Oh, I feel for you, but I'm glad that day by day you're getting better, which is a great sign. So hopefully you can move on to like warmer foods now. I know I went from like the first day I didn't even want to eat, honestly, but then I was starving. So I had like applesauce and pudding. And then I moved on to like mashed potatoes. I bought the little individual pre-made containers. So we had mashed potatoes and bone broth. I drank a lot of bone broth, which actually felt really nice, like soothing. And then like, it just was good for me. It gave you the protein and stuff you need. But yeah, I ate a lot of mashed potatoes, and I stayed on soft foods for probably longer than I needed to, but I'm like a big baby. So hello, Heather. But I hopefully you can start expanding your diet and feel a little better. Did soup last night. Okay, good. So you can gradually get into that softer stuff. Thermal questions. What do we think this switches to? So it looks like we're a purple base. I'm going with clear. I'm saying it's going to go to like a clear shimmer in hot because this is thermal. It does have, there you go. There's your hollow sparkles with the flash. Yeah, my guess is that we're going to go clear when we're warm. But LynB makes some really cool stuff, like very unexpected shifts. So she could really surprise us. Like watch it be like yellow or something. All right. Ooh, now we're getting into our Ribbits. I see brown, question mark. Ooh, okay. This is, I haven't cut open a man in a while. And it is a warm brown reflective. I'm seeing gold and maybe silver reflective glitters in there. We're going to double check it's not a magnetic. Yeah, I don't trust myself anymore. Okay, it's not a magnetic. We are definitely reflective. Ooh, maybe some copper reflective in there too. This is really pretty. It's very warm and like inviting. I'm feeling like I'm getting on the brown polishes lately. Like I used to be very like not brown, like not my thing, but they're kind of warm and just cozy. Oh, very pretty with that sparkle. So we have Hi Mama. We have 3 more from Ribbits. And, oh, okay. I might have to cut open this belt. She said no. She said you're not allowed in here. Okay, there we go. It was like, y'all, it was stuck. It was real stuck. Okay, this is, ooh, I just remembered I have because I knew there was a thermal in here. I made sure to have my water on and warm. And I'm putting the bubblers against that mug roar. It's probably not good. This is Calmelos. Well, I don't know. It's got a picture of a dog on it. I'll show it better when we flip it over. Again, it is Resident Evil, so maybe that's the dog's name. Y'all, I don't know this stuff. This is a really pretty like gray base though, and then it's got rainbow shifting microflakes in there. Very pretty. I don't think you can see, can we see the color shift of those flakes? Not really on the front camera. Y'all, front camera is not always the greatest here. It is very pretty though. I don't know why it makes me think of like a storm cloud. Just that gray with those pretty speckles of flakies in it. Very interesting. Hello, Nerida. Next up, I can't tell if we're gold or yellow. Oh, okay. I also didn't check for magnetic. It doesn't say it, but sometimes she doesn't label them. Okay, we're not a magnetic. I feel like I just have to test everything to be magnetic now. I still can't tell in the package. Are you gold or yellow? Oh, okay. This is an interesting shade. This is going to fall into Prugly. We are yellow, but like with a hint of green in there. And then it also has I think it has the same flakes that are in the gray. And this is called Your Tonight's Main Dish. And it's this like pale kind of yellow, but it's got like a green warmth. I don't know if that even makes sense, y'all. It's definitely not green, but it's got a green tint to this yellow. And then we do have some flakies in here that I'm seeing orange and red, and then maybe a little hint of green in them. I'm gonna put on the flash and see if we can show those flakes a little bit better. No, front camera sucks, y'all. It's a very, very unique color. Again, I have nothing like this, which I find Ribbits does a lot. She does a lot of interesting things that nobody else does, and I love that. So yeah. Oh, I didn't test for magnetic. Hold on. I don't think you are, but I've been surprised before. No. Okay. All I'm getting is the ball. Got it. Okay. And last actually, is Ribbits' fourth polish. Aw, you're blushing. And again, there are like characters and inspiration photos on the stickers. Y'all can't see front camera. I show it better on the back camera. This is, again, I feel like we have a warm, like chocolatey base. And then it could be purple. I'm kind of seeing where the air bubble is. This might be a like purpley base. Hello, Christy. And then it has red to orange to maybe gold in the shift of this. I'm going to grab the flash so you can see. There's that shimmer even more in there. Super shifty. It's all right, Christy. I know y'all have lives. I never expect any maker to make it in here. And then we're doing the magnetic test because that's me. I'm testing them all for magnetic. Are you magnetic? Why does this kind of make me think it's magnetic? Okay, we're not magnetic. Not magnetic. I'm just getting one of the balls. I'm testing everything for magnetic because lately I just miss the magnetics. I'll like be so gushing over the polish, and then a few minutes later I'll go back and like, oh wait, that was a magnetic. So not a magnetic, very pretty still. Again, could be brown base, could be purple base. We're gonna find out when we get out of the bottle. I'm gonna call it mauve. Like it looks like it's got a little purple tone to a brown base. Very pretty. Excuse me, y'all. All right, so again, that was all your blushing. Hi, Tiana. You are just in time. I just finished unboxing, so we're going to get into some swatches. And since Miss Christy is in here, let me double check that we don't have any of the other makers. We do not. So Miss Christy is in here, so we're going to do Ribbits first, and then we'll probably do LynB since it's a thermal and we need to dip it, and then we'll move into VV's, which has the glitter and then the magnetic. So cool. Let's get into this. I'm going to flip y'all around. I'm going to grab a drink first and turn on my air purifier because we've been real bad about remembering that lately. Okay, now I'm going to flip y'all. We're getting to these swatches. All right, flipped. Oh, scooching you down. And we're going to zoom in just a smidge so that it will focus. All right, here is tonight's info sheet. It does have all of the polishes listed on here that I'm going to show tonight. I don't have caps and pricing yet on Ribbit stuff, but of course all that will be on my post as well as on the website with the descriptions when Wishlisting opens on the 19th. Everything tonight will be for pre-order January 22nd through the 30th, as it always is for Little Box of Horrors. And then, you know, we're going to have our individual pricing. I'll go over all this, but if anybody wants to screenshot this information so you know what we're doing, we're also going to ignore the fact that I'm missing some peelies. They popped while I was cleaning systems before I got on live tonight. Yeah, let's get into it. Again, because Christy is in here, I'm going to start with her stuff. We're going to go in with our Little Box of Horrors wheel here and just right off the bat, we're just grabbing stuff. We're grabbing stuff and going in for it, y'all. We're going to start with Colmilos. I still don't know if I'm saying that right. Again, the theme for Little Box of Horror this month is Resident Evil. There is a doggo in our background, so I am assuming that is the doggo's name. We have a gray base here with color shifting flakes. It looks like they kind of shift through the rainbow. I definitely see some red, and I see orange, and I see green in here. Very pretty. It's also got, I don't think y'all can see it. It's got a bit of a red shimmer, just like a subtle red shimmer to it. And I'm not sure it's really coming up on camera because it is very subtle. Tiana says, I love a good gray. Yes, this is really pretty. I like the flakes in this. I mentioned earlier, it kind of made me think of a storm cloud, just the glow to it and the little speckles. I don't know. It's really pretty though. Let's get it on here. I guess Resident Evil, it also could give like zombie flesh vibes. Here is our first coat. I feel like I didn't scoot you guys down as much as I need to so I can see what's happening. So as far as opacity goes, it's not bad in one coat. Obviously the second coat's going to make it better, but I don't think you'll need a third. Christy says he's like a wolfy dog zombie thing. All right, fair enough. You have those really pretty flakes. Ooh, do you see that big one catching the light there? So it does have a red to orange kind of shift in those flakes. And then you have a light gray base behind it. Hello, Miss Jen. You are just in time. We've done our first swatch here of Camilos from Ribbits Tickets coming to Little Box of Horrors. It is a gray with red to black shifting flakes and red to black shifting shimmer. There we go. Yes, Jen, just in time for the flakies. And it's gray, so you got gray and flakies. Look at you go. So that was our first coat of Ribbits Camilos. I still doubt I'm saying it right, but I'm trying, y'all. Hello, always polished life. Welcome in. Next, I'm going to do it, y'all, there was no rhyme or reason to how I listed this. I just looked at the names earlier, but I feel like I want to do it in order of how I wrote them down, so it makes it easier for y'all to keep track of your list. So we're going to go with this one. Tiana said, well, that is going on my wish list. Isn't it really pretty, Tiana? All right. I haven't cut open a man in a while. And then I don't know if you can tell, but there is a woman as the background. Like her mouth is here. She's got bangs. Again, Resident Evil, who the woman is. I don't know, y'all. I don't know this stuff. Nerda says Camilos is as in the Spanish word for canine teeth. Oh, that may make sense because he is a zombie wolf dog thing. So Nerda, you're probably right. That makes a lot of sense there. Thank you. All right. I think that's right, Chelsea. It's how I say it in my head anyways. Cool. I'll take it. I will take being right. Okay. I got real excited to open this, y'all, because it's so pretty. Okay. So I haven't cut open a man in a while. We've got a brown base, and then it looks like we've got copper and gold reflective glitter in here. This one is super sparkly. I don't know why my flash turned off. Hello, phone. All right. Here it is with the flash, so you can see those reflective glitters in there. They really sparkle. Like I said, I've kind of been getting into the browns lately. Like a year ago, I would have told you all I never wear brown. But just something about the last 6 months or so, brands have been coming out with some really pretty browns. Hey, Monica, welcome in. You are really good on timing. We've done one coat of Ribbits Camilos, which is this beautiful gray with black to red shifting flakes and a black to red shift as well. So that's all you missed. One coat. You're caught up. We're getting ready to do our first coat of I haven't cut open a man in a while. Jen says Resident Evil is my husband's favorite series of games. Well, then you tell him, like, I gotta own all this stuff because it's for you, right? All right, let's go in with our first coat here. This is just so warm and cozy looking. Y'all, why am I so bad at that top edge? Why am I so bad at it? Every stinking live, I miss that top edge. All right, here's our first coat. Chrissy said, these are all inspired by Lady D's daughters. This one is inspired by Cassandra. It's a brown glitter and gold reflective glitter in a brown base with yellow shimmer. Okay, gotcha. The last three are inspired by Lady D's. Okay, so not the dog, obviously, but that makes sense. I got you, Chrissy. I got you. Jen says, yes. Monica says, oh, that name. I know, I love it too. It cracks me up. Was a little bit of polish on my finger, y'all. Just a little bit, but I'm counting it. So we're in official live now. Here is that beautiful brown. As far as opacity goes, it's not bad on the first coat. I think will be perfect in our second coat. Now it is a reflective, so you're gonna want a layer of glitter smoother or multiple layers of top coats just to get it all smoothed and nice. Let's grab the flash and show off those reflective glitters. Very pretty. So sparkly. Look at those there. Oh, yes, that's the shot right there. Gorgeous. All right, so that was our first coat of, I haven't cut open a man in a while. Next, we're gonna go into, oh, you're blushing. I love this name too. And this one, I'm not sure on the base color. We're going to find out when we pull it out. I'm leaning towards a like, what did I say earlier? Mauve, a purpley brownie base. And then it's got a red to gold to green shift to it. Chrissy says all three of her daughters have different color hair. So that's the color inspo. Oh, yeah. See, y'all, I don't know nothing about Resident Evil. It has been, God, my brain can't math, probably 20 years since I've played a Resident Evil game, and even longer, well, less long since I watched a movie. I watched the last movie they came out with in like 2012, and I had horrible, super realistic nightmare about it, and I was like, nope, no more zombie stuff. Jen says auburn, so pretty. Yes, it's very pretty. I'm excited to get out of the bottle so we can see this true base color here. I can't open it, y'all. I'm struggling. I thought it was open, and then I tried to take the lid off, and it was stuck, and then I thought it was open again. I'm a worst struggle bus in here. Yes, okay, so it is a kind of mauve-y, auburny base. So I was kind of right on the color there, y'all. Ooh, look at that shimmer. We're a little bit thin on the first coat, but I think because the amount of shimmer in here, the second coat will pull it up. Monica's laughing at me. I swear, I could not get that bottle open for nothing. That shimmer is really intense there. Chrissy says, oh, your blushing is inspired by Daniela. It's a red brown base auburn with red to orange aurora shimmer. Look, guys, I'm kind of getting good at these descriptions. I'm kind of figuring out polishes and things. Sometimes I get them right. This is definitely really pretty. I love the shimmer in this. Tiana said, I love it's not pink. Haha. I like this color. It's a very unique shade. Yeah, we're definitely thinner on that first coat. So second coat's going to be needed. Here, if you want to see it over a natural nail since my peely popped. Monica says, laughing with you, friend. That's pretty. Always, Monica. I know. What is life if you can't laugh at yourself? Y'all, that shimmer. So pretty. All right, so that was our first coat of Ribbits. Aw, you're blushing. And then their fourth polish is your tonight's main dish. And this is a really pretty yellow, and it feels like it's just got just a little bit of green in there, like just a touch of green warmth. And then I think we have the same red, black, shifting flakies that were in the first one, the gray Kilmelos. Again, I'm assuming this daughter's blonde based on it being yellow. Again, y'all, I know nothing about it. You can see, oh yeah, look, she is blonde. See, she's in the picture. I love the inspo on the sticker. Chrissy says the shimmer might need a third coat. Okay, so we'll do a tip test and see what color that is. Also, you can see her in the background. I didn't really stop to show her earlier. But all right, let's get your tonight's main dish on our swatch wheel here. Yes, look at that yellow. You don't see a lot of yellows. I feel like yellow is a love or hate, unfortunately, in this community. But this is really pretty. Oh, yeah, it's all over my finger. We're definitely alive now. It's a very soft yellow, and because of those flakies, I don't know why I'm getting speckled egg vibes. Like, this is kind of the perfect polish for Easter. It's a tiny bit thin on first coat, but I think second coat will be okay, unless you have an extreme visible nail line, in which case you might want 3 coats or a blurring base coat for that aspect. I obviously don't have much of a nail line, period, right now, y'all, but mine's not very strong. So I think 2 will be fine, but just know that you may need 3. Tiana said, that's a pretty yellow. It really is. And Jen said, love yellow, especially pastel-y ones. Well, then this one's for you. Your tonight's main dish is inspired by Bella. It's a yellow with a touch of brown cream with a red to yellow shifting metallic flakes. All right. You got those flakies in there. I'm excited for the second coat to up those flakies too. I also like the variety and size on those flakes. Very cool. Miss Christy, do we have pricings and caps for these? We're going to go back and do our second coats of these because, again, Ribbits is in here, so I want to do her polishes first. So we'll go through and do our second coat of Comilos, and then we'll go in with LynB's and Victorian Varnish after these. And we do have, where did I do the description? I literally took pictures of these. It's a gray with red to black shifting flakies and red to black shifting shimmer. And the shimmer is more subtle, y'all. Like, it's there, but it's a little bit more subtle. Hello, Melissa. How are we doing tonight? All right, here is our second coat. I totally almost did that on the brown of Comilos. There you go. $13.50 and cap of $50 for all 4 polishes. So they're each going to be $13.50, and then there's a cap of only 50 of them available. So if you're interested in any of these, make sure you add them to your physical wish list. Write it down, make a post-it note, put a note in your phone, take your screenshots of labels, which we'll do in just a minute. And then when Wishlisting opens on January 19th, make sure you go stick it on there so you don't forget about these babies. Second coat, let's show it over the green. I'm happy with that opacity in 2 coats. And I love how many more flakies we got out of it on that second coat. Beautiful. All right, let me give you a label shot. All right, here is your 2 coats of Ribbits Comilos. And I got really quiet. I still don't know why I do that. I feel like it makes me not move my hand so much so you can get a good screenshot. All right, second we have, I haven't cut open a man in a while. This one is inspired by Lady D's daughter, Cassandra. It's a brown glitter with gold reflective glitter and a brown base with yellow shimmer. This one's really pretty. It's got a warmth and just coziness to it. Definitely could be worn year round. Fits kind of the fall vibe to me with the little gold pops in there. Very pretty. Let's see if I can get that top edge. I'm so bad at that top edge. Years of lives, y'all, and I still struggle with that top edge. All right, here we are. Yes. Look at that beautiful shift in there and just the way those reflective glitters dance. Hello, Frida. Welcome, welcome. Or I am, boy, I think I actually butchered your name. Faraday? Is it Faraday? I apologize. I am the worst at pronunciations. Please let me know how to say it so I say it correctly. Y'all, this polish is so pretty. Opacity wise, I'm really happy with 2 coats on that one. Again, you are reflective, so you're going to dry textured. You either need multiple layers of top coat or throw your favorite glitter grabber onto it. Let's get our flash out. Hello. There we go. So we can show off those reflective glitters. There they are. Look at all that sparkle. Beautiful. It just feels like a super snuggly polish. Like it's calming and warm. It makes me want to just grab a blanket and curl up with a cup of cocoa, which I guess is very not Resident Evil vibes. But you know, polish can be whatever you want, right? All right, here's our label shot of I haven't cut open a man in a while. 2 coats. And next we have, Aw, You're Blushing. This is inspired by Daniela. It's a red-brown base, auburn, with red to orange Aurora shimmer. You can see that beautiful shimmer in there. Now, Chrissy said we may need 3 coats of this, so we'll do a second coat, and then we can always come back and do a third coat on the tip, just so y'all can see the difference of it. Let's do our second coat first. Get out of there. There's a rogue flaky in here. Get out of there. All right. Nope, I put it right back on. Hold on, y'all. That was okay, the flaky probably came from just being mixed in general, but I put that flaky back on. Okay, here's our second coat. Here we go. Tiana, Resident Evil isn't cozy and warm. Haha, just kidding. Nope, nah, I mean, I don't think so. Y'all, look at that. See, I'm so bad at that top edge. We're just going to ignore it. We're going to ignore it. Here is your 2 coats. Now, I'm going to actually say this is like 2 1/4 coats maybe, because I did have to get that flaky off, and I did put a little bit more polish on here. But I still think 2 coats could be okay, unless you have a very, very visible nail line, or if you're a thin coater. If you're a thin coater, you may want 3. So Miss Jen in here, who is a thin coater and a chronic 3 coater, she's gonna want 3. Me, I do a generous medium coat, and I think 2 will be okay. But look at that beautiful shimmer just shift in there. And it got very dark and luscious on that second coat. We went from like a kind of mauvey pinky color to this beautiful deepened auburn base. And then you have that shimmer in there. It's gorgeous. I mean, I guess Resident Evil could be a cozy game. You could say Resident Evil's cozy if that's your vibe. I mean, different strokes, right? All right, here's your label shot of Aw, You're Blushing in 2 coats. All right, and then our last from Ribbits is Your Tonight's Main Dish. And this one is it's inspired by Bella. It's a yellow with a touch of brown cream with red to yellow shifting metallic flakes. You can see that shift in there. Let's get a second coat on here. Now we are a pastel yellow, so I am not going to be surprised if this is an opaque in 2, y'all. Like that's the nature of yellows. Ooh, look at that big flaky. Did you see it? Yes, I want to leave you there. No, stay on the thing. I love me a chunky flake. Y'all know it. Oh, I did a really bad job over there. We're a mess, but you guys are along for the ride, so I appreciate you being here. All right, let's do an opacity test. Oh, it's not bad. I mean, that's a pretty strong green over my little babies. It's not bad in 2. Again, we're pastel yellow, so like it's kind of a given that you're going to want 3 anyways, but I don't think 2 is bad. Jen says chunk. Yes, I love me a chunky flake. Ooh, look at the color there of it. Yes. I love me a good chunky flake. This is really pretty. It's a nice soft yellow. I'm kind of digging this whole color palette here. It's very like fall-esque winter cozy vibes. I know we just talked about how Resident Evil not being super cozy, but do those not just look cozy together? Like sweater colors? Yeah, loving the vibe of this color palette. I'm very excited just to see what the whole Resident Evil offerings are going to be on Little Box of Horrors, because this is really pretty. All right, here's your label shot of Your Tonight's Main Dish in 2 coats. And out of curiosity, I'm going to go back to Aw, You're Blushing, and we're just going to do a third coat on the tip just to see what happens, and then everyone has a peace of mind on what they feel the vibes are. All right. Okay, so I feel like it did deepen it more. For me personally, I was happy with 2. I would be happy with 2. But it did deepen it and added a little bit more depth. So if you wanted to do 3, obviously you can do 3, and it is still gorgeous with a 3rd. Again, opacity level, it did make it way more opaque on that 3rd. So if you have a strong visible nail line, you may want a 3rd or a blurring base coat. That one's very much a you decision. I'm lazy and I'm impatient. So like, I'm cool with 2 coats, but I could see why you'd want 3 there. So, oh, I got it stuck to my finger. All right, I'm going to give you all another label shot. So again, if anybody wants to screenshot it in the 2 and 3 coats. All right, so here is all your blushing. You've got 2 coats at the base, 3 coats there at the tip. Just if anybody wants to have that solid information. Jen says, it's a 3-coater for me, for sure. Yep, Jen's my chronic 3-coater, and there's nothing wrong with that, y'all. I'm just too lazy for 3 coats, unless I absolutely have to. I'm also going to do a 3rd coat on the tip of your tonight's main dish, just so we can see that yellow and see the difference between 2 and 3. Y'all, I really love the whole, like, doing it just on the tip thing. Latanya did this in a live, and I was like, that's so smart, so you can still see 2 versus 3. All right, here it doesn't really show too much of a difference. Let's see. Okay, so 3 obviously made it a little bit more opaque, but I don't think it made it a ton more. Let's see on my natural. Yeah, for me personally, again, I feel like 2 is fine. 3 did give you more flakies, and then obviously with a yellow, if you have a strong visible nail line, 3 is going to give you that opacity. But I'm not mad at it in 2. Again, I'm lazy though. Jen says, so banana, like maybe a bruised banana. What kind of bananas you eating that look like this, Jen? Look at those beautiful flakes right there. That color shift. Very pretty. Ooh, we're stuck again. Okay. I'm a mess tonight. I'm a mess every night. What am I talking about, y'all? All right, I'm going to give you a label shot again so you have your comparisons for anybody who wants it. Here is your tonight's main dish. You got 3 coats at the tip, 2 coats at the base. And that is our Ribbits Stickets offerings. I'm going to add on here really quick a pricing. All right, so they are all 4 going to be $13.50 each with a cap of 50 bottles available. So all 4 Ribbits polishes are $13.50 with a cap of 50 available. Jen said, oh, sorry, LO, I use my bananas for bread like every time. Yes, I buy bananas to eat when I'm craving bananas, but otherwise we're using the brown ugly ones for our stuff. I don't know if anybody wants a screenshot of the background. I don't know why I didn't center that. I'm usually way better at that. And then Ribbits specifically, if anybody wants that, there's your Ribbits offerings with our info sheet. I don't know if anybody wants to screenshot that or not, but that is our Ribbits offerings. Now let's roll into our LynB because it is that thermal and I want it to dry before we do our dips. I do have hot water and my mug warmer is on, so we should be totally good to dip it tonight. Here is that LynB. When you're good to mama is what it's called. I haven't looked at the info yet. It looks like we have a grayish purple kind of base. My guess is that it's going to go clear warm. Does anybody else want to take a guess before we read the description? Y'all, look at those flakies. Look how shifty those are. They're gorgeous. All right, everyone take your guesses. I'm gonna find my little paper, and y'all, I mean, it's a little paper because it came on other papers with other things. Its description, if it will sit still here, is a blackened plum to pale pink thermal filled with red to purple shifting flakes and added cherry red hollow glitters. Jen also guessed clear, so Jen, we were both wrong. We were wrong. It is pink. I'm very excited to see this shift. Chrissy said, oh, that's stunning. It really is. Those flakies are so shifty. And then it does have, she says cherry red hollow glitters. I don't see the red if I'm being honest. I just see hollow, but hopefully out of the bottle, it'll be different. But here it is with flash to show off the hollow. Now this one is going to be $13.50 and it does not have a cap. Y'all, it's so sparkly. So I'm very excited to see this one. I'm going to put our swatch wheel up here because y'all know I'm going to stick my arm in it if I don't. And we're going to do our thermal on an individual swatch stick so we can do the dips in water at the end of the video, or yeah, because it says it's set. So after VV, we'll dip this. We've got this and then 2 VVs still to show off. So here she is in one coat. Ooh, okay, that base is kind of like ethereal, y'all. I was not expecting that. It is a blackened plum base. And like, it's kind of just this deepened. Oh, this is really pretty. I was not expecting that color. Of course, we're on a clear swatch stick, so that's going to have an effect on our opacity. Obviously, we're very thin on that first coat, so we'll see how the second coat does. And yes, apparently this is going to transition to light pink, pale pink, when we dip it in our hot water. So we'll do that after we finish VVs and we get the second coat of this done. But y'all, this is so pretty. You can clearly see the red to purple shifting flakes in there. And then we have the hollow glitter as well. Jen says the VVs are chef's kiss. I'm very excited to see the VVs. She sent me those so long ago, and she actually sent me inspiration photos because she was wondering advice, since y'all know I own a game store, but I was like, I don't have no advice. I sell these things. I don't have time to play them, but here it is with the flash, so you can see those rainbow twinkles from the hollow glitters in it. Beautiful. I'm going to set it off to the side. I know I finished Ribbits, but I had 4 polishes, y'all. It don't dry fast enough. So we're going to set LynB's When You're Good to Mama off to the side. We'll do VV's and then we'll circle back to it and do the dips. Let's go into VV's magnetic first. There's no rhyme or reason. I've just decided that's what we're doing. So I'm going to grab out my Victorian Varnish Glamour Gear. Y'all, this is absolutely amazing for doing your magnetic nails. You've got bar magnets in the side, so you can do a velvet in between or a reverse velvet, or you can use it as a prop and lots of things. I use it on my lives. It's so handy for showing y'all these magnetics. So we're going to do it on its own swatch stick. We're going to do a bar as well as a velvet swatch. And it is Cadeau Claws, or Cadeau. I don't really know, y'all. This one is going to be $14 with a cap of $150. It is a magnetic that shifts from gold, aqua, cyan, green, blue at extreme angles. When magnetized, reveals a beautiful vintage reddish brown base with a Victorian twist, red micro glitters that make this polish pop. So I'm going to grab our magnet, see if it's going to play nice. Nerida says, I've got one of those. I have 4 Glamour Gears now, y'all, because it's like Pokemon. I got to collect them all. Ooh, look at that beautiful line. And then you have that deep brown reddish base with the glitters. This is so vintage and just unique. Oh, it's really cool, y'all. I'm excited to see it out of the bottle and see what that tone base really is. It makes me think a sepia tone. Like, did anyone ever go get the like old Western photos taken somewhere? I remember doing it at Six Flags when I was a kid. Like they dress you up like a saloon girl and then you get it back and it's in the sepia brownish tone. That's what this is given to me. Jen says super unique. It really is. It's very cool. Let's get a coat on our swatch stick. Oh, there, get off there, Fuzzy. There's a hair. Hold please, y'all. Hold on. I'm gonna fight with this. Okay. Rather get off now than have it stuck in our thing. All right, so here's one coat. Again, we are on a clear swatch stick, so it's going to have an opacity effect. Here it is unmagnetized. Y'all know you don't have to magnet a polish just because it says magnetic. You can wear it however you want. Hello, Miss Jess. All right, setting this down to get our bar. I realized I didn't zoom y'all in. All right, there you go. You already had that line showing up. We are showing off some offerings for Little Box of Horrors, Jess. I've already showed off Ribbits offerings. I've done one coat of LynB's Thermal. We haven't done the second or dipped it yet, so you're totally in time for that. And right now we're doing VV's Magnetic Cadeau Claws. I don't know, y'all. You know I can't pronounce stuff. Here it is, again, unmagnetized. I really love that greenish gold kind of antique-y magnetic in there, that shimmer. It's very pretty. I'm gonna, y'all, you know I'm impatient. So here we're gonna look at the bar already. All right, so one coat, you can see the line. It's not super duper strong on that first coat. I know the second coat will pull it. We are a little bit on the sheer side. So we'll see if that second coat bumps it up or not. Again, it's a very interesting base color. I'm going to go ahead and do the second coat while we are letting that velvet set. Here is our second coat, which definitely helped with the opacity. It's very pretty unmagnetized. I love the pops of those little red glitters. All right, you can already see that line coming nice and tight in there. So again, this one is a magnetic that shifts from gold, aqua, cyan, green, blue at extreme angles. When magnetized, it reveals a beautiful vintage reddish brown base with a Victorian twist of red micro glitters that make it pop. It's 14 with a cap of 150 available. Let's do our second coat on our velvet because honestly, y'all, it really wasn't there. Here it is on that first coat. So let's leave it to set on the second. And here is our bar in two coats. Yes, look at that line. It really came through on that second coat. Definitely happy with the opacity. Again, it could be better with 3 coats if you have a strong visible nail line, or you could go in with a blurring base coat. For me, I'm a little shorties. I think 2 is going to be fine. I love the pop of those little red glitters in that background. And then you can really see the gold and aqua and cyan and green in there. And then it says blue at extreme angles. Ooh. Y'all, it was like a slingshot. I'm sorry. Okay, I think I could maybe see the blue just really at the edge of it there, but it has so much going on that you really don't need that blue anyways. This is very unique, very vintagey, and as soon as y'all see the inspo photo for this, you're gonna know exactly what this polish represents. Like, she nailed that inspo for it. Again, she did send me the inspos early on, so I saw those. Tiana says, another home run for Vivi. I agree. These are really pretty. Here it is, velvet, which of course you're going to get way more of that magnetic pigment there. And I think right there at the edge, y'all, can you see the blue? It's right there. It really is just at the extreme. But again, you've got those red glitter pops in it. A lot of fun. Velvet, I think, is easy 2 coats. Yeah. I'm happy with velvet in 2 coats, but of course you pull way more of that pigment there. Very pretty, super unique polish. I don't know why, because all the colors in there, my brain keeps going to rainbow trout. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Welcome to the weirdness that is in my head. Let me give you a label shot for this gorgeous VV. I'm going to zoom you out a bit so we can fit the polish and the swatches in here. Please don't stick together. Please don't stick together. Please don't stick together. Y'all, they're going to totally stick together, but I'm trying. Doing my best here. All right, so here is our Cadeau claws, or Cadeau clothes. I don't know, y'all. You've got velvet on top, bar magnet on bottom, and 2 coats. Again, this one's going to be $14 with a cap of 150 available. Gorgeous. Set that out of the way. I'm going to move the glamour gear because we're done with it. Zoom you back out so you can see everything that's happening. And then we're going to go back to our swatch wheel and do our second VV, as well as our second coat of LynB's. All right, so our second Victorian Varnish. Tiana said trout color with black cat stamping plate of fishing lures is exactly what I thought of. Okay, so it's not just me. It's not just me, y'all. I really was thinking of a rainbow trout. It's just got that pinky, and then you get the green and the blue in there and that little gold. Yes, it totally made me think of a rainbow trout. All right, the second offering Victorian Varnish has is Sanguis Virgin. I don't know, y'all. I don't know how to say this one. I'm trying. It's beautiful. Tiana says, great mind thinks alike. Yes, ma'am, we do. Also, you make me feel less crazy because someone else has the same thought. All right, so this one is, oh, I didn't even tell you all the inspo. So Cadau Claus is inspired by Lady D's, from the Village, apparently. Lady Dimitrescu? Yeah, we're going with Lady D because we can't say that. Hi, Becky. And then this one, Sanguis Virgins, y'all, I don't even know. Becky says, love that red. Tiana said, I'm loco. Yeah, girl, I know I'm crazy. I tell my husband all the time, I'm like, I know I'm not crazy. Well, okay, I know I'm crazy, but not about this thing. And Neardis is this one. Oh my gosh. So this is inspired by Lady D's wine. It is a vampy blood red base that gives way to a massive sparkle filled with different sizes of red glitters. It is $14 with a cap of $150. Let's get it on our swatch wheel here. I'm very excited to see this one, y'all. This is going to be super vampy. I can already tell. Ooh, yeah, blood red is the correct description for this one, y'all. And she did not skimp on those glitters. Man, seriously, what is with me? Why can't I get that edge? Maybe my head's crooked. Maybe that's what it is. All right, here she is in her first coat, which obviously we need some opacity here. Like we are not opaque in one, but look at those beautiful red glitters just sparkle in there. It is pretty. If you are a red lover, you're gonna want this one. Now I can already see it's drying with just you can see the texture right there in that light line. So you're gonna want a layer of steamroller or your favorite glitter smoothing top coat with this, or multiple top coat layers if you don't have a glitter grabber, although at this point every brand has one, so you really should invest in one, y'all. They're phenomenal. It really just gets in there and fills in all the cracks so everything's smooth and glossy. But this is beautiful. So that was our first coat of VV's Sanguine Virginis. Y'all, I don't know. It's what we're going with. It's what I'm saying. It's first coat. We're going to pop over to LynB's Thermal again and do the second coat of that. So we have LynB Designs here. This is When You're Good to Mama. It's going to be $13.50 with no cap. It's a blackened plum to pale pink thermal filled with red to purple shifting flakes and an added cherry red hollow glitters. We're going to do our second coat. We'll let it dry while we do the second coat of VV's, and then we'll dip it at the very end, y'all. I'm intrigued by what shade of pink this is going to go to. It says pale pink, so I'm excited. This is pretty. You can see those beautiful flakies. Here's our second coat. Now we're on a clear swatch stick, so that has an effect on the opacity. I'm not mad at 2, but I'm feeling like it could be a 3-coater, y'all. She's just a little bit thinner. But you can see those beautiful purple red flakies. They shift with ease. And then you can already see the little rainbows coming from our hollow glitters. But I am going to grab that flashlight. Yes, look at those little rainbows twinkle in there. Definitely excited to see this one dipped. And we'll give you a label shot of it in its 2 coats. We will, of course, do a label shot in its transition stage as well. But here it is, 2 coats in its cold state. When You're Good to Mama from LynB Designs. I want to get those flakies in the red and purple state. They're not really having it here, but all right. Let's go back to VV's. All right. If I don't put that stick up there, I'm going to totally stick my arm in it like I did last night, y'all. If you watched last night's, I stuck my arm to a swatch stick and threw it off of the desk. All right, so let's go back in and do our second coat of Sanguis Virginis. I don't know. It's a vampy blood red base that gives way to massive sparkle filled with different sizes of red glitters. This one's $14, the cap of $150. Again, it is from Victorian Varnish. So let's get it on here. Yes. I would say that this base is a red jelly base, y'all. So it does have that squishy vibe. Opacity is decent in 2. Again, you may want 3 if you've got a strong visible nail line or if you use clear extensions. For me and my shorties, I'm happy with 2, but you can really build it in 2. There's Miss Tammy. We are doing your second coat here of Sanguis Virginis, or however we say it. I was just talking about how it's got kind of a jelly-like consistency to its base, almost blood-like, if you will, y'all. So it's kind of got those squishy vibes, and then you have all that beautiful glitter in there. Very sparkly. Definitely a red lover's dream for sure. There it is again with your virgin wine, is what Tammy says. There it is with your opacity level. Again, I am happy with 2 coats. You may want a 3rd coat, which is at your discretion. I know Miss Jen will do 3 coats. Tammy says it's ruby slippers on steroids. Yes, that's a good description for it for sure. Very pretty. It is drying textured, so again, add a coat of steamroller on there or your favorite glitter grabber, or just put 2 coats of top coat just to get that all nice and filled in. Steamroller, obviously a glitter grabber just works a little bit better, but whatever you have or want. Here is your label shot. You got 2 coats of Sanguis Virginis, or as Tammy calls it, virgin wine. I'm sure that's probably French or Spanish or something, y'all. I'm real bad with other languages. We know this. All right, and then of course we already did our 2 coats of her gorgeous magnetic, which I gave you a label shot for. So let's go to that LynB and do our second coat of it. I'm gonna put this up here again so I don't stick my arm in it. All right. She calls it that in the game. Oh, okay. All right. See, y'all, I don't know the games. Okay, so we did our second coat of LynB's When You're Good to Mama, which is our thermal. This one is the Black and Plum to Pale Pink Thermal, filled with red to purple shifting flakes and added cherry hollow glitters. This one I feel like it's like just slightly drying textured, but you probably can get by with just top coat on it. I'm going to grab my hot water from over here. Boom. And we are going to do our dip of it. So again, this should go to a pale pink. Oh, yes. All right, it is a very pale pink. I can see it more when it's in the bowl. Give me just a second. I'll get y'all a white backer here so you can see that pink a bit more. It is borderline clear in my opinion, but it does have just a hint of pink to it. Let's see what it's like over my natural nail. Okay, so yeah, it's a pale pink, y'all. I feel like it's really the flakies that are adding to the pinkness of it, if you will. And then of course you have that gray when cold. It's very pretty. And I feel like in real life I'm seeing just a little bit more pink than y'all are on camera. Now it also has that hollow, so if we grab the flash, we can show off the hollow on it too. Tiana said, okay, I could deal with that pink. Yes, it's a very subtle pink. Honestly, I would say that it leans more clear, and then the flakes and maybe just a little shimmer in there is making it lean pink, but it is a very, very pale pink. I love the little hollow sparkle in there. Very pretty. Let's get you a label shot for this one. Ooh, I just chucked that bottle at myself. All right, here is When You're Good to Mama by LynB Designs, 2 coats in its transition state here. I'm trying to okay, hold on. We started to get some cold dots. One more attempt. Here you go. All right, there's your label shot. Totally just got my label dirty or wet, but that's okay. Again, this one is going to be $13.50 with no cap. And that is our LynB. So that is everything we showed tonight. I will do a quick little recap. Let me get this water out of the way. I will dip in there one more time while we do our recap. But we have our 4 offerings from Ribbits Stickets. You have the Colmelos here in 2 coats. Then we have our Haven't Cut Open a Man in a While in 2 coats. Again, of course, this one's a reflective, so you're going to want glitter grabber or multi-top coats. You have all your blushing. You have 2 coats here, and then it goes to 3 on the tip. And then our 2 coats on the base, 3 coats on the tip of your tonight's main dish. All of these are $13.50 with a cap of $50. Then we have Victorian Varnishes Sanguis Virginis, which is $14 with a cap of $150. That beautiful glitter red packed. Night, Tiana. Thanks for joining. And then we have Vivi's Magnetic, which is Cadeau Claws. I don't know, y'all. This one is also $14.50 with a cap of $150. You've got your 2 coats with a bar magnet on the left. And then 2 coats in velvet on the right. Very pretty, very unique, y'all. And then, of course, last but not least, we have our LynB's Thermal. I'm going to dip it off camera again really quick. This was $13.50 with no cap. It's the blackened plum base to pale pink thermal with red to purple shifting flakies and cherry hollow. So that's everything I have to show y'all from Little Box of Horrors. Again, pre-order. I'm going to leave this so you all can screenshot it. Oops, maybe. Oh boy. Oh, I'm a mess. Oh, we made a mess. Okay, let me dip her one more time. For anyone who wants to screenshot the info form and tonight's swatches, maybe. Hello. Okay, there you go. That is everything I showed you tonight. There are obviously tons and tons more coming, more offerings that will be available the 22nd through the 30th. Again, it is a pre-order. Wish listing starts on the 19th of January. And there are tons more offerings, so stay tuned for other swatchers like Latanya, who I believe will have some of this stuff, and just follow the Little Box of Horror page to see stuff. Yeah. So lots of beautiful things coming. These are the offerings I have to show y'all tonight. All right, I'm gonna flip you around. We will chat for a second. Oop, oop, oh boy, I'm hitting so many buttons, y'all. So many buttons. All right, so yeah, that is everything I have to show you. Some wonderful things coming from all 3 brands. I'm very excited to get swatching these. If you have a favorite from tonight, let me know in the comments, whether you watch it here, replay, or on YouTube's replay. I'm excited to see what you're excited for, or if you're a Resident Evil fan and you could create your own polish for this, let me know what you would choose. Maybe a maker has made something like that and you'll be surprised and be able to grab it during the sale. I'm always intrigued to what people would have made with the inspiration. So yeah, thank you all so much for hanging out with me tonight. I hope that you're having a wonderful week. You're so welcome, Tammy. Thank you for sending them to me to show off and for popping in for a little bit. Yeah, I'm very excited to get these swatched. There's some gorgeous stuff coming. And with all that being said, I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.